Hello and welcome to Creative Sparkle. My name's Holly and today we're doing an art journal prompt list. So grab your art supplies and let's get crafting. Hello, thank you for joining me today. So for today's prompt list, we actually have a rule. So the rule for the prompt list is to choose one colour and only use this colour throughout, and then black and white can also be used. So because I'm working in a recycled book, I want to make sure that we can't see those pictures underneath. And the first prompt today is going to be prime your page for the use of paint. So I'm using white gesso to prime the page, and I'm going to do at least 2 layers just to make sure that those pictures are in the background. So once we're primed, we'll move on to prompt number 2, which is to use a dry cloth or towel to apply paint. I'm decided to use pink for my colour, and I'm using a flannel that is towel material to add the paint to my page. So I'll start off with this lush pink and add that with the towel just by dabbing it on the page after dabbing it in the paint. As you can see, the page is quite warped. It's because I stuck the 2 pages down with glue and it seems to have made it go a bit bubbly, but I'm not worried about that. So the second colour is Iris and it's a lighter pink, so I'm going to add that to the background as well. So you can see the bumps coming through, but I think it adds to the page, so I'm quite happy with it. So prompt number 3 is to use part of a plant, for example a flower or a leaf, to print or stamp over the background. So I'm using that same lush pink and I'm using black as well to add those, and these are the 3 leaves I'm going to be using to print over the background. So I'll start off with the larger one and start off with the pink, and you can see the patterns going through there, and then I will get those printed over the background in black as well, and you'll see the product when it's done. Like I said, you can use flowers if you'd prefer, or even tree bark, or whatever you have available around you can find. I found these leaves as it's autumn time, I found them on the floor, but I thought the veins were quite nice, so I thought I'd use those for my background. So moving on to prompt number 4 is to add stenciling to your background. I have chosen to go with a stencil that is a wall stencil that you can see here from this pack, and I'm going to use the lighter pink, the Iris, to add that with a sponge through the stencil, so it's still got that bit of texture that we added the paint with the towel as well. So if you prefer, you could use modelling paste through a stencil or whatever you feel goes better with your page, and I think the wall actually goes quite well with what I've done so far, so I'm quite happy with the result. And once we're happy with that step and it's all dry, we'll move on to prompt number 5, which is to define the stenciled element in places. So I decided to use a fine liner in pink, and I'm just going to go around some of the bricks just on the right side and the bottom side, just to emphasize a few of the bricks on each of the patches that I've made. Obviously you don't have to do the same that I've done, you could completely overlap some of the details, or you could add some different details. It's just whatever you feel is best for your page. So moving on to prompt number 6 is to add a floral focal image. So I've gone for something a bit different today. I have used my scan and cut and I've chosen this image. I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but you will once I've managed to cut it out. So once that's all cut out, I'll do it on black paper, and the image I've chosen is this tree, and it's set already in the scan and cut machine, so it's already in there. So I just had to choose it and cut it out, and that's my focal image. So I'm going to stick it down with Mod Podge, and I'll select the place, and I'm just going to pull the page up and bend it in the correct place so that I know where it's going to be folded. And then once I'll stick that down with Mod Podge, I'll move on to the next step. So as that's stuck down, I will put a layer of Mod Podge over the top. If you prefer, you can use PVA glue, but this I've used because it's matte, so it's not going to be shining all over the place. So moving on to prompt number 7 is to give your focal image a little sparkle. So I've gone through my glitters and found this Candy Floss glitter glue, and it looks pink in the bottle. So I thought it was fine to do with my page. So I'm just going to go in these circles that you can see on the tree. I think there's 5 circles that you can see, and I'm just going to go over those to add the sparkle to my page. I think once that's done, it kind of looks like pieces of fruit. But if your focal image is different, or if it already has different colours on it, I'm sure it will be fine. So once the sparkle has been added, we'll move on to prompt number 8, which is to show something suspended or dangling from the top of your page. So again, I've gone with the scan and cut with the black paper because I think it would just look more cohesive and tidier. So these are the things that I'm going to have descending from the top of the page, and I'm going to stick them as though they're growing from the top of the page out, and then once I'm happy with the location of them, I get them stuck down with Mod Podge like before, and then I'm going to use the same glitter that I used on the tree, just because I think that the black is moulding into the background too much, so I'm going to use the same glitter to go over those as well. So once I'm happy with those, I'll move on to prompt number 9, which is to add a title in a font you have not yet used. So I decided that to add a title, I'm going to use the black again, just because I think it would be more cohesive with the focal image, and I decided that there wasn't really a location for me to add those, so I've gone in with the same colours I used for the background, just to make one area just a bit bolder, so that it's not got the black coming through. And I'm going to use these die cuts to spell out the word Wonderland, and as you can see, I've cut them out in black paper, and once I've got that stuck down, I'll just go over it again with Mod Podge just to seal it in, and that is my title done. So the 10th and final prompt is going to be to add dots to the page to finish. So for my dots, I have cut out circles in about 1.5 centimeters diameter, and there's about 7 of them, so I'm just going to place those around the page, and I'm going to use that same glitter glue again, and this time I'm just going to do the outer edge of each of the circles once I've got those stuck down. So I'm just going to go with the glitter around the edges so that it's still got that black coming through, but it's also got the sparkle to bring the page together as a whole. So I hope that you are happy with today's page. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I have put the images of the completed product at the end of the video along with the full prompt list. If you do decide to take part in the prompt list, please do tag me on Instagram with the hashtag #SparklePrompts, and I will see you next time, where we will turn your creative spark into creative sparkle. Thanks. Bye.